Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I'm flying solo and I'm going to be showing you how to make homemade tarallis. Just like so. Super simple to make, and I'll show you just how coming up next on Love What You Eat. And I'm going to be showing you something very simple. A lot of people do it. The recipe is more or less obviously the same. You're going for texture and feel. This is making classic little mini tarallis. What you will need is flour. You are going to need a good olive oil and some very good white wine that has been warmed up over stovetop just to remove the chill from the fridge. If you have it already in the pantry, I would still warm it up just a touch, like warming up a baby's bottle, like what my mom would say, but just to a lukewarm. And that is basically all you need, with a good pinch of salt to make the base of a good taralli. And then afterwards you can season with ground fennel, you can season with peperoncino, you can season with sesame seeds, you can season honestly to your heart's desire. You could even make red wine ones. There are so many different flavors you can make. Today I will show you a basic one and maybe split up into different flavors. So follow me and let's get these baked and done and show you just how simple it is to make with a few simple ingredients and just a little bit of time in the kitchen. So I'll take you in on a closer look. Let's get started. All right, so we have our dough that has been resting for a good 30-40 minutes or so. And this is going to be rolled down into the traditional look of a taralli. You can make them any size shape that you want. I'm gonna do those little bite-sized ones. And I'm starting to just put a big pot of water to boil, because once these are shaped, they're going to be boiling until they float to the surface, which honestly takes about a minute or so. So I'm gonna do 2 different flavors, divide the dough in half. One I'm gonna keep plain, roll out and have them pre-boiled. But once they are boiled, they are going to be dipped in sesame seeds and laid out to dry. And then they'll finish baking in the oven, so they'll have some sesame seeds on it. And then the second one, I'll add some peperoncino flakes, which are chili flakes, to make these a little bit more spicier. But what I do is, that's the second batch I do. So I'll do the sesame seed ones first, but after adding the peperoncino flakes into the second part of dough and shaping them up, once they are ready to boil, I add a dash of cayenne to the water. That makes it, just kicks up the heat a little bit more. It adds that little bit of an extra tingle to your tongue to say, oh my God, there's something extra going on here. So that's my little spin on getting it to an extra little heat. So those will be the 2 that we are doing today. Let's get to rolling. I have the water boiling behind me, and I have separated the dough. I put them into little pieces, and I'm honestly eyeballing them. I'm not gonna break my head over about measuring them, but you would wanna, if you would wanna make little tiny ones like this, like even tortelloni size, you would be going to basically roll them out to about 8 centimeters, and that makes them those tiny little shapes. But you do whatever size you want. I'm honestly roughly eyeballing them. And making them, just making sure that when you press quite well so that they don't come out in the boiling process, so get a good indentation in there. And they're well oiled up, so you don't have to cover them. It's a pretty quick process at this point. I mean, maybe 20 minutes or so of rolling out half the size of the dough at a time, and then into the water they will boil for a couple of minutes. Now once they float, they're basically good, but I usually, once they float, leave them another minute or two, and then I'll have a wire rack laid out beside me. That'll be over a baking sheet, and I will just scoop them out with a spider whisk. So I'll scoop them out with a spider whisk. Once they have rose to the top, lay them on the wire rack, and then from there start to basically preheat my oven to 400 degrees. Now everyone's different, so honestly you're gonna have to try recipes here and there to really get the proper temperature of yours. If yours runs a little bit hotter or cooler, but 400 usually should do it. I'll have the ingredients, measurements, directions always found in the video description. So just click under the title of the video and it'll open up the description box where you will find the written video, or you can always go to our website www.loveyoue.net, where you can find all our recipes that are being uploaded on the daily. And I would bake them for honestly about 30 minutes or so. Again, every oven's different. Pay attention. You're looking for them to get crispy and light to medium golden, the golden to your liking, and that's it. So the boiling ensures that they're at least getting soft, tender, kind of cooked in the middle, and then the baking in the oven ensures that they get nice and crispy, so it makes honestly for the perfect bite. Now for the sesame seed ones, after they get boiled, I'm just going to have a bowl with sesame seeds. And as I take them out, I will just basically dip one side or both into the sesame seeds and lay them on the wire rack. So they will bake with the sesame seeds. They will not boil with them. If not, they're gonna fall off. So the boiling, once they get out of the boiled water, that little bit of moisture helps the sesame seeds stick to them. And then afterwards, they will just bake on the wired rack in the oven and they will come out perfect. I will speed this up and I will see you at the boiling stage. All right, so our water has come to a boil. I'm just gonna remove the lid. Now we are going to be baking the pepperoncino ones. So I had divided the dough in half. I had put a little handful, honestly, of pepperoncino chili flakes, and they distribute perfectly. You can see here they distribute perfectly. Now, what I like to do, and this is optional, but I like things extra spicy, and I'm gonna be taking a tiny dash of cayenne. Now I have a huge pot of water. I would say this is, anyways, it's a big pot of water. I don't know the exact size, but it's filled up halfway with water. It's boiling. I'm gonna put a tiny dash of cayenne in the water. So what it does is it gives a little bit of that extra hint or that kick of extra heat, which optional, but I love. So tiny little dash, that's all it is. And that will spice up the water. And I will get these boiling onto another wired rack and baking in the oven. And that's basically it. So while I was preparing the water, these sesame ones are perfectly cooked. So they will cool on the rack, and then I will move them to a serving dish. As you saw, I basically load up my spider whisk with a good amount of the tarallis. So I basically boil them in 1/3 of a batch, lower it down, and I had jiggled them just so that they don't stick to each other. But I mean, they're pretty well oiled, so they shouldn't. And then when they begin to float to the surface, I from then on count about 3 minutes. I give them a little bit more of a boil just to really ensure that I'm getting that center, because they are tiny but they are still thick in size. So I don't want to have any like raw dough in there. So ensuring that at least once risen to the top, they get that extra 2-3 minutes of boiling, and then afterwards a good bake till I like them a little bit more of a medium golden, really to ensure that it's throughout fully cooked, and then afterwards having them fully set. And also an extra little tip prior to bagging them, obviously you never want to bag them and cover them if warm, because condensation, etc. So let them fully cool before you, let's say we'll put them in a Ziploc or in a Tupperware. But I like to air dry them an extra day. So leaving them on the wire rack, either with just a tea towel for a little bit of aeration but a little bit of coverage for a full day, gives them a little bit more of that extra dry, so the bite through ends up being crispy but still a very like flaky. Can't really describe it more than absolutely delicious. So hope you guys give this a try. So they have floated up, so honestly about a minute and a half, and then they will rise, and then from here I count 3 minutes and then onto the wire rack. Nothing else will be done with these because they're seasoned and getting extra seasoning with the cayenne in the water. So these will be basically put to lay straight on the wire rack in an oven preheated at 400 degrees. And I cooked the sesame ones for about 25 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to keep an eye on these ones, and that's it. Rinse and repeat. I will see you at the last step for the taste test. All right, so there you go. It takes a little bit of prep and patience just to roll it out, but once done, honestly, everything rolls really smoothly. Choose the flavors that you wish and just take this base recipe that is very simple and honestly out there for everybody to see. So many different styles, versions. I did the pepperoncino one that was also pre-boiled for a little bit of added spice and some cayenne pepper water, and then I did the little bagel bite ones, which is basically just half dipped in sesame seed. These bake in the oven at 400 for about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, give or take. Pay attention to your oven. I strongly suggest you baking them on a wire rack on top of a baking tray for the aeration, so you wouldn't have to go ahead and pull them out and flip them. So you don't have to do that if you do it on a baking on a wire rack on a baking tray, so it will cook through on both sides, which is a great little tip. And these make for the perfect type of little holiday treat or gift. Package them up, make them honestly anytime, but around the holidays, this ends up being on the tables quite often with some cheese and olives and salami, sopressata, etc. So this is great little charcuterie board add-ons. And I'm going to try one of the spicy ones here, just so that I don't have a sesame seed crumble on on camera. But you hear that they are perfectly cooked, and you'll have a soft crumble in the inside, not chewy, but a nice crunch on the outside. It's exactly that. You see the little specks of cayenne too. These are absolutely delicious. I truly hope you guys give this a try. Weekly uploads every Sunday. And also don't forget to check out our new website, www.lovingyoueat.net, where we upload all our recipes. Right now focusing on uploading fall and winter, and we will get all the rest of our 200 plus videos from YouTube up on that website soon. So stick with us. Thanks so much for tuning in weekly, leaving us comments, liking and sharing. We truly appreciate it. I'll be baking next week with my mom, so you will see her back on the channel soon. I just wanted to get this video that's a little bit long and tedious out there because it is honestly so simple to make, and that's what we want to showcase. Easy, simple recipes that you guys can do just by following a few simple steps. Thank you so much, and tune in next week. And as always, continue to love what you eat. Bye for now. Perfect.